Okay. Okay. This isn't looking good. Holy hell. All right, let's do this. Damn. Is it over? That's it. For now. Okay, this is it. Oh, it's over. Whoa, that's it? isn't looking good. Holy hell.
Reggie help you today? If you got scrap, I got you covered. All right then. Take care, traveler. Hello again, traveler. Where would you like to start? Old as teeth, friend. Old as teeth. Everything we know comes from Founder Ford. That title don't come from nowhere. He was there at the start. When the world ended, about 120 years ago, give or take a decade, Ford and some survivors took shelter in old Ward 13 over there. I don't know how many wards there were, but they were all part of something called the Dreamer Project that went bad. Ford and Clementine are the only ones what really know, and they don't like to talk about it. But old Reggie's got a gift for collecting stories, and I've gleaned a few things. At the wards, see, they connected people to machines that made them dream about other worlds. But these worlds were real, and the dreamers were seeing through the eyes of someone that lived there. Sounds like a bridge too far, don't it? It did for me too. At least until I met Clementine. She was one of the dreamers, if you can believe it. The only one still alive as far as I can tell. She says she got sucked out somehow, dragged into her dream world before the root came to Earth. I don't understand it much. I reckon she don't either. But she found herself in a place called Riesel, a world covered in snow and inhabited by giant intelligent rats. Don't know how she survived, but I imagine it has to do with those powers of hers. Hey, that's the story I still haven't gotten out of her. Sure is. But power like that don't come without a cost. I can only imagine what it must take out of her to control a power like that. There are rumors. Some say he made a deal with the Root, and that's why he's so hell-bent on stopping her. Some say he was experimented on in the Dreamer Project. Some say he found some kind of magic out there in the years when he was traveling the worlds. Truth is, nobody knows. Maybe not even Ford himself. Personally, I think Ford's just tough as dirt and refuses to die. The story's pretty long, friend. Let me know if you get tired of the telling. After the world fell, see, Founder Ford carried the whole burden of what happened on his shoulders. Tell the truth, I don't think he ever put that burden down. But let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. Founder Ford carried a heavy burden in those earlier days. Probably still does. But what could he do? At first, nothing. He pressed on with the work of helping others survive. If you ask me, that was the best thing he could have done. It never should have stopped. Maybe he wouldn't have if Evelyn hadn't. See, Evelyn was his wife, and she was something special. She could hear the root, see what they saw. At first, she thought she was going insane. But then she started using it, spying on the dead wood. And she saw something coming. Something big. She saw a monster, something the ward, the whole city couldn't handle. And only one way out. She communed with the root, I guess you'd call it. Melded her mind to theirs and drove the monster off. But the root swallowed her, body and mind, until there was nothing left of Evelyn Ford. Her husband lost it then. He left the ward for months, sometimes years at a time, wandering the worlds trying to find something, anything that could stop the root. And one day he just didn't come back. Well, now my story's not through yet. The Fords, they had a daughter, Nadine. She was maybe 17 when her mother disappeared. Too young to run the ward, but when her pa was gone, folks would ask her their questions instead. Then one day, she was just in charge of everything. Nadine had her own daughter, Ellen, who really made us who we are today. Commander Ellen Ford inherited her mother's pragmatism, her grandfather's doggedness, and her grandmother's willingness to make hard choices. So whenever someone showed up, dehydrated, starving, half mad from loss, she took him in, taught him a trade in medicine and supplies, gave him a family. So you were paying attention. I owe a lot to Ellen Ford, and we all do. And I miss her something fierce, let me tell you. Oh, about 20-odd years ago, we had almost nothing left. Trapped in Ward 13 with nowhere to go and the root getting worse all around us. Then this stranger wanders in out of the storm, makes friends, picks up some gear, and damned if they don't take the fight to the root. I still don't know if that wanderer was crazy or brave or both, but they did it. They beat the root, and things got better day by day. Once it seemed safe to live outside again, Commander Ford made plans to build this town here. The Wanderer was on a mission from the start. Said something about getting to the tower on the old atoll out there. Sounded crazy the first time I heard it, but turns out that tower was one of the old wards. The Wanderer's path wasn't easy, though. Our Wanderer had to track down Founder Ford just to find a way in, and that meant following his trail. Just you wait, I'm getting to that. Well, Ford, it seemed, had gotten himself mixed up in another world's affairs, helping a rebellion out here, and he was imprisoned for it. Now, no one here knew that, but the Root Mother knew, and that's who our Wanderer left to see. The Root Mother's got a story all her own, and I don't know half of it. Before she was the Root Mother, she was Evelyn Ford. That's right, the Founder's wife. Bound herself to the root, she did, and it changed her, turned her into something else. But when the Wanderer showed up, she pulled herself out. The Root Mother, or whatever she called herself after that, sent our Wanderer down a trail of sorrow, at the end of which was the Founder himself. The Wanderer freed him and used his knowledge to get into the tower and destroy the last dreamer. Or what we thought was the last dreamer anyway. It did weaken the root for a time, but I guess that weren't the whole story. So the dreamer was dead, the storm subsided, but the root, they were still around. Then Founder Ford tells us about the oldest ward, the first one, where the Dreamer Project began. He hoped there might be some clue there as to why the Deadwood was still coming to our world. So our Wanderer goes a-hunting. They found more than even old Ford bargained for. You ain't wrong. Place was full of doors, and I'm not talking about the quiet humankind. One of these doors led to the world of Riesum, where the Wanderer found Clementine. Clementine opened a door what nobody else could have opened. And inside, I hate to admit it, but I don't know what they found inside. All I know is the root stopped coming when the Wanda and Clementine were through. They'd done it. Saved the whole damn world. Just making sense of things. Stories make us who we are. If we don't share them, don't learn from them, we're just bouncing around in the dark. She was a force, that woman. Founder Ford came back once. Did I mention that? Almost 60 years ago, right after his daughter Ellen's mother passed away. Ellen couldn't have been more than 18 at the time, but she told him the war didn't need him. Didn't have room for some legend who was just as likely to leave as to lead. I reckon Founder Ford saw the wisdom of that, because a while later, he left again and didn't return for a long time. When he finally did, he wasn't leading us no more. He was content to leave the ward in better hands, Ellen's hands. Well, she fell sick some time ago. Most of us have lost folks without any chance to say goodbye. But we got that with Ellen. Why, she even made things right with her grandfather before the end, or so I hear. The two of them together put Bo in charge of the ward. No one was more surprised about that than Bo. But you know what? He's the right man for the job. Ain't no one loves a ward, loves these people more than the kid who was raised by him. He's gonna do all right. You might find some of these useful. Let's talk again, soon.
I don't like to talk about the things I've seen. Feels like speaking. The words manifest them, and I don't want to relive that.
Hey, you're the newcomer, ain't you? Nora Camarillo. I keep folks alive around here. You know, you're lucky they found you when they did. Your friend was pretty bad. I got her just in time. Pretty much. Any part of your flesh prison breaks down, you come to me. There ain't much I haven't seen before. Yeah, that's how my grandpa used to talk. He loved that idea that we're all beautiful souls walking around in dilapidated meat suits. Ain't much science for it, he'd say. But damn if it isn't hilarious. What's on your mind, Sunshine? What are you trying to say, Sunshine? Well, no need for that. You know how a doctor gets good at her craft? That's it. Same way you get good at anything. You learn a thing by doing it over and over again. For me, that means people who need my help. The more people there are suffering, the better I get at healing them. And Sunshine, I'm the best damn doctor for miles. My grandfather, he'd been treating folk his whole life, nearly as long as the root's been around. I started assisting Grandpa when I was 5. Dressing wounds, making meds, cutting at the table, you name it. He was. He helped more people in his long life than you and I have ever even met. But how I helped him most was digging through the old hospitals. Even after a century, there's a hell of a lot to find. All of it useful to someone as clever as Grandpa. Huh, tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work anymore? To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have saved if we had that kind of know-how. There's plenty if you know what to look for. Most of the basic meds are long gone, but there's still plenty of specialized tools and ingredients there. Stuff no one knows what to do with but me and my grandfather. What they don't got, what I never found once, is a cure for root rot. That's why so many folks died when the root first showed up. Grandpa had to invent a treatment on his own. A treatment, not a cure. He probably wasn't the only one. I'm sure others came to the same solutions independently. But after Grandpa figured it out, he traveled as far as he could and taught it to everyone he met. I don't know where he started, but I reckon every treatment within 100 miles of here is derived directly from his work. You can thank him that your friend is still alive. Came here maybe 10 years back. My ma had died and Grandpa didn't feel safe carting me around the countryside by himself. It turned out good. The city's full of scrounge, and Grandpa made a living selling bandages and meds while treating folks for free. I do the same. He even attended the old commander when she passed. Couldn't do much for her except ease her going, but folks around here thanked him for it. Made us part of the ward and all. All right. Of course. See you around.
Traveler. Right. Well, let me know when you know something, yeah? Hey, let me know as soon as you find Clem, okay?
I knew you'd say that. Goodbye, traveler.
What can I do for you? Yeah, what's on your mind? All right. You know where to find me.
What is it now? All right, let's see what you've got. Bye.
pressing business here.
Oneril, I believe this beast has come to petition the council.
That creature? A Fey law does not apply to such as they.
You realize we make the laws here, Oneril? Step up to the podium, Petitioner. I, at least, am curious what you have to say.
Hail, stranger. I am Savan, Speaker of the One True King's Council. State your nature and business for the record, please.
Your nature, yes. What are you exactly? You're not one of the... well, what do they call themselves? The Dran, are you? Neither Fey nor Dran. How very curious. Tell us more about this Earth.
Oh, Niall, you waste our time. The Fae have more imperative matters that require our attention.
Oneril speaks true. Please, Petitioner, briefly state your business before the council.
Your friend is here. Now? How distressing. Perhaps we can help you find them.
Perhaps not, or have you forgotten the rather large problem yet undealt with, starting with what lies beyond this very door?
I had not forgotten Oneril, but as we are at a standstill, I thought to turn our attention to something more refreshing for the time being.
Sadly, our resources must be devoted to the troubles at hand, Niall. Petitioner, we will not help you at this time. Good day.
You have wasted quite enough of our time, foreigner. The Fae have far more important concerns than you before us.
Hold a moment, Oneril. Perhaps this stranger could be of use to us. The Fae presently live in fear and uncertainty, stranger. The One True King has been usurped by an impostor, aided by one of those seated before you. But we know not which. As an independent party, you might find clarity where we have failed. Will you help us?
Hold. I do not accept. This is a foreigner, hardly more than a mute beast. The law does not allow such to conduct investigations or judgments on our behalf.
Have you ever considered, Oneril, that our job is to make the law?
Both arguments are heard and deemed irrelevant. We do not ask them to make judgment, only to aid in an investigation that we have voluntarily foregone. The law supports this.
A great tragedy, stranger. For eons, the Fae and this council have faithfully served the One True King. But alas, his rule has been curtailed.
The impostor, Phelan or Feyrin or whatever they call themselves now, placed the king in an eternal slumber from which he cannot be woken.
The king was attacked in his own chambers, behind this very door. The impostor could not have entered without aid from a member of this council.
But, of course, we all have our alibis, as you can imagine. None of us were here. This has been proven many times.
If you can find any evidence tying one of us to this tragedy or to the impostor, then Fey justice might be done.
It won't be enough, Savan. The impostor still sits upon the throne.
Yet, it will be a step, and a necessary one, toward restoring order among the Fae.
It means you're not Fey, and your life is easily forfeit.
Please, Oneril. Stranger, we will discuss the conditions of your accusation if and when you choose to make one.
We do not. This farce does nothing.
Peace, Oneril. The law is clear on this point, as you well know.
I will answer your question, stranger. With a traitor among us, trust has shattered. If any of us were to produce evidence at this stage, it would be suspect by all.
And rightly so. Either of you would love any excuse to remove me from the council.
And you do not wish to hold half the council's power yourself, Oneril? You cannot pretend it isn't true.
Regardless, stranger, you are not from this world. Either of these worlds. So, any evidence you bring would be free from the suspicions which we have cast upon ourselves.
Precisely my point. This foreigner may have any number of reasons for accusing any one of us.
Which is why, if and when evidence is produced, we alone will pronounce the final judgment.
And if that evidence has been falsified, tainted, how do I know one of you has not paid this interloper to act on your behalf?
Onariel, only you assume that everyone is as unscrupulous as yourself. Not everyone seeks power at any cost.
Very well. I will judge it when I see it. I trust no one, but I trust the two of you less than this foreigner.
We now know that the impostor approached each one of us at some point, whispering promises of freedom and power, trying to poison our minds against the one true king.
He only said what we wanted to hear. Pity one of us listened.
Can you blame them, though? The imposter called out important truths.
Is that an admission of guilt, Niall?
If you would allow me to finish. I was saying he called out important truths that we must take to heart, despite the poison that obviously accompanied them. We would do well to address the flaws raised by the imposter. And I find it difficult to cast blame on any who thought there might be a smoother path towards doing so.
And yet that path has led to ruin. We have merely exchanged one tyrant for another.
Indeed, but our feelings on the outcome are irrelevant. This council must be absolved of guilt if we are ever to restore order to the Fae. Alas, we do not know.
There is no blood, no wound that we can see.
Not that we were able to investigate the scene fully.
At your request, Onariel. I cannot trust either of you backstabbers nor anyone you might call to serve us. Were those not your words?
They were indeed, and the sentiment holds.
Regardless, it is unknown even what could harm the king. For it is said that no mortal weapon can kill him.
And many have tried.
The king has ruled over the Fae as long as anyone can recall. He has always been a guiding force, both in our world and our lives.
Some believed he was too much of a guiding force.
More than some. Yet, look at us now. The king sleeps, and our world is spun into chaos.
Indeed. It would seem his life is more entwined with our world than anyone knew.
Imagine what would have happened if he had been killed. Oh, of course! How could we have been so blind? The genius of this foreigner who is so much more clever than all of the Fae together.
Please, Onariel. Their question is academic curiosity. The simple answer, stranger, is magic of a kind more powerful than any here have yet seen. We suspect the imposter's conspiracy went even deeper than this council alone.
All the more reason to identify the conspirator among us.
They are a monster. They care nothing for the welfare of the Fae.
Nor those of us who serve the Fae.
Nor for the law. On this we all agree. The imposter's plan should never have been carried out. So it would seem. If this council is to have any efficacy at all, the traitor must be removed from our midst. This is the law.
Fare thee well, stranger. And do tell us if you find anything interesting. Oh, come on. Glad that's over. Glad that's over. Here they come. Damn.
Stop no matter what.
Well, at least that's over. That was rough. Here they come. That's it. For now. All right, let's do this.
Holy hell.
Great. More bad news. Come and get some. Well, at least that's over. This is it. Holy shit. bad news. This is it. Whoa.